Mark O'Brien is a friend, a blunt object, and I love blunt objects, being one myself, I guess. And he is very skeptical. He's not cynical. And sometimes I think that people mistake his skepticism for cynicism, but they have less in common than most of us think. So, like me, he is deeply concerned about things like leadership, and he's also concerned about education. So his contribution to Beauty and the Beast was focused on education, and it happens to be very similar to the way I feel about the topic. He and I don't agree on everything, but I think we're pretty close on this one. So I'm going to read you part of that piece he wrote. It's called STEM, STEM, the STEM, capital S, capital T, capital E, capital M. Here's what he says. Two things are true. The nature of work inevitably changes. If that weren't true, there'd still be a telegraph key in every office. Second thing, everything exists at a point on a swinging pendulum. If that weren't true, every other generation wouldn't believe utopia is possible until the next war. Because of these two truths, my knee doesn't jerk at things like trends, fads, and the news. So I don't get terribly lathered up over most flashes in the educational pan. Nevertheless, programs that focus on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, are dangerous because they're leaving us ill-prepared for the kind of critical and creative thinking that would foster more fulfilling work, more rewarding workplaces, greater abilities to think beyond the ends of our noses, and less susceptibility to every politically popular narrative. STEM is a particularly bad idea, concentrating as it does on attenuated, linear thinking, as opposed to unconditional, conceptual thinking. That perspective is reflected in an article from Education Week that we've managed to ignore since 2017. The title of the article, There's Something Missing from STEM Learning, is about as direct as you can get in pointing out the shortcomings of STEM. In that article, what schools must stop doing is teaching the puzzle pieces and then never letting students put the puzzle together. Through arts integration, students are finally discovering and creating their own solutions rather than waiting on the teacher to tell them how to arrive at an answer. Along the way, someone decided it might not be a good idea. This is back to Mark again. This isn't from the article. It might not be a good idea to let the right side of so many brains lie fallow. At that point, folks introduced STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, into some curricula, curious as they undoubtedly were to see what would happen if students were enabled and encouraged to see the world as something other than a series of straight lines or predetermined conclusions. Lo and behold, another article, which is called STEM versus STEAM, Why One Letter Matters. And here's a little bit of that article. A STEAM education approach actually translated into a more accurate pathway to college, confirmed that arts students were more likely to apply to more colleges than non-arts students, 21% more likely to attend a post-secondary institution than non-arts students, just as likely to pursue STEM majors as non-arts students, and just as likely to receive scholarships as their non-arts peers. Back to Mark's words. Hello? If we haven't become completely immune to wake-up calls, that one should have thrown us out of bed and clear across the room.